Hi everyone, Dr. Remy from Pain Free and Fit. Today we're going to be going over 3 basic movements that will hopefully help you avoid low back disc surgery and assist your disc in its natural healing process. Remember, low back disc surgery is typically only reserved for those who have unresolved neurological compromise or gross spinal instabilities that have not responded to conservative care. However, those are a very small percentage of the overall disc cases that exist. Most disc cases require an exercise program and a postural and movement program to re-educate the patient on avoiding the typical postures and movements and positions that compress the disc in the wrong direction and further disc herniation, bulges, and degeneration. That's exactly what we're going to be going over today in 3 basic movements that will help you avoid the most typical aggravating postures and movements that cause disc injury, and by doing them, you will assist your body in healing itself by decreasing the repetitive stresses that cause these problems while assisting in your natural body's healing mechanism. Hope you enjoy. So one of the most important lessons you could ever learn about discs is that when you sit, there's 12 to 13 times your body weight on the disc versus the standing position, which means sitting is inherently dangerous for discs, and with constant irritation on the disc and pushing the nucleus, which is the inner fluid, into herniations and bulges, it aggravates both disc bulge and herniation conditions as well as degeneration. The key to sitting is to decrease that disc pressure as much as you can by maintaining the lower back arch. When the arch is increased, there's typically less pressure on the disc because most disc herniations are in a posterior or backwards direction, meaning that as we slump and let the rib cage fall down towards the pubic bone, that lower back arch is lost and the anterior or front of the disc gets compressed, squeezing the fluid or inner gel that's in the disc backwards in our herniations. So by maintaining the arch and increasing it as we sit, we can decrease that pressure. This can be done actively by sitting tall and rolling your pelvis slightly forward, lowering your pubic bone and raising your tailbone. You can put your hand in your back to feel that arch increase. It should be increased to a point of comfort. Now, sitting for short periods of time when you get started is good for this. You can also use a passive method where you put a low back support or pillow or roll towel behind your back in the seated position to help maintain that for longer periods. Choosing the proper seat height is also important for this. A higher seat will typically lower the knees so that they're lower than the hips, and this will also increase the natural anterior pelvic tilt and help hold that lower back arch. The more time you spend seated, though, even in this position, the more disc pressure there's going to be. So getting into the habit of taking a break every 15 to 30 minutes, getting up and walking around even for a minute or two will help to decrease that overall pressure in your lower back disc. Now, maintaining that same arch in your lower back is very important while standing and walking, but especially when we're bending forward. Most people, when they bend, they have a tendency to allow the chest to start making the movement first before the lower back and the hips. As a result of this, as the chest and upper body bends forward, as you feel your lower back, you'll notice that that curve starts to decrease. Again, putting pressure on the front of the disc and inviting more injury to the posterior herniation and bulges. To resist this, maintain the same distance between the lower rib cage, you can feel that with your fingers, and your pubic bone. That distance should be maintained as you bend from the hips and the knees going forward for forward activities. If you need to be very low on the floor, you can get down on hands and knees, but again, keep that front rib cage and pubic bone separated to maintain the arch in your back. Other bending techniques include pivoting forward on one leg as you can maintain that same distance between your ribs and pubic bone to lift things up, or using a lunge position for the same motion. Again, the concept is decreasing that tendency to bend forward on the front of the disc by maintaining that arch, by maintaining the distance between the front lower part of your rib cage and pubic bone. Now, the third most important tip has to do with head posture. While most people don't realize it, as the head moves forward, there's a tendency for the mid-back and lower back to follow. So sitting, standing, reading, working on a computer, and even walking with the head forward with the ear more forward than the shoulder invites a decrease in that same arch in the lower back and compresses lower back disc pain. So the key here is while you're sitting at your workstation, sitting at home, walking and standing, think about keeping the ear right on top of the shoulder and avoiding the tendency to have the head move forward. This is especially important when we're looking down at material in front of us, including walking. Usually when you walk, you can look where you're walking with your eyeballs rotating in the sockets, looking down 6 to 10 feet in front of you, as opposed to letting the entire head move forward and looking at the first 3 feet in front of you. Sitting in good posture, keeping the shoulders back and the ear on top of the shoulder as we work is also important. Having our computer or our work or our reading material straight out in front of us as opposed to down below us, which invites that same forward head posture and a rotation of the entire spine. Keeping these tips in mind will help to decrease the forward aggravation on discs and stop the repetitive irritation that's happening every day, allowing your body to begin its healing process. So plug these 3 strategies into your daily routine and let me know how your lower back makes out. Questions or comments, write in. As always, I'll do my best to answer. Give me a thumbs up to help share this valuable information with others. Join the channel to get more great videos on lower back disc healing exercises. And remember, if you're looking for a great self-rehab program that you can do at the gym or at home that takes your lower back from where it is now back into a state of being pain-free and fit, check out our Fast Track program for degenerative disc disease, which is also applicable for disc herniations and bulges, available at painfreeandfit.com.